All right, it is 2:00. So let's call the final meeting of the Board of Water Commissioners for this year to order. And let's call the row.
Chairman Einhauser,
Present.
Vice Chair Blackman, Commissioner Davis, Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Kinlock, Commissioner Coleman. Commissioner Forte is excused but plans to join us. Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. Next is the approval of the proposed agenda. Is there a motion? Commissioner Davis, and supported. Any changes to the agenda? This isn't technically part of the agenda, but I want to note that after we handle item A5A, we're going to recess for a few minutes and go out and take a picture. All right, then all those in favor of the agenda as presented, please say aye. And those opposed? And that is adopted. Next, the approval of the minutes of November the 20th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Approval, Mr. Chair.
It's been seconded. Any modifications or changes to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, and that is adopted. Next, we're going to engage in employee recognition, the Edward Dunbar Award, and Mr. Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're going to have Brian Peckinpah start it off.
Good afternoon, Board of Water Commissioners, Brian Peckinpah, Public Affairs Director. So we are doing our annual awards of the Edward Dunbar Award. This is for 25 years of service or more in the water industry. And we're very pleased that we have several individuals within the department who are receiving this award. We also have a posthumous award. We had the unfortunate passing of Priscilla Lovely from the Meter Operations Division. Her husband and son are here with us today. I ask you two gentlemen to stand for a moment. Thank you. So we do have several individuals. This award is presented. Can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. Again, to those who have served 25 years or more in the water industry. We have Derek Carter, who's from Field Services, or excuse me, Facilities. He actually works in the main office building. He is unavailable today, but he has served for 27 years. Deirdre Cook, Terrence Coombs, who's with us, he's with security. Mr. Thomas Dotson with our field engineering team. Mr. Raymond Hurd with our field engineering team. Ms. Lovely, as we mentioned. Carlo Magno, who's with finance, I believe. Philip Manley with security. Yolanda O'Quinn, who's with meter operations. Mr. Patel and the other Mr. Patel, 26 years and 25 years respectively. They are both in field engineering. They're actually out in the field working hard today, and they asked for their awards to be sent to them at our central services facility. And Arena Taylor, who's from customer service. Board of Water Commissioners, most of the honorees are here with us today, so we ask respectfully, as Mr. Chair said, that if we could take a moment to take photos with the individuals out in the lobby area before we resume with the meeting.
Well, congratulations to each of the people who are receiving this award. You know, you are the ones who keep the water running, and we can't tell you how much we appreciate that. So while I'm going to ask that the meeting be recessed, and commissioners and awardees, let's assemble in the lobby and we'll take some pictures. Yes. Not walking away. Need more light on. Maybe take care of it.
But yeah, the city has to approve it in the budget before it at least bring you all to the budget. Okay, I think that's what you're telling me. Okay. I'll figure it out. Yes.
That one's done. That's sweet.
That was great.
You know, I was commenting to the young man who just put on the cap. I said, you are not old enough to have been here that long, but he's here receiving for his mother, who's getting the award posthumously. So thank you for being here. Condolences. All right, we will reconvene. And the next item on our agenda is public participation. And read the instructions.
Mr. Chair, to make a comment, if you are in person, please sign the sign-in sheet. Your name will be called and you can proceed to the microphone. If you are online, please raise your hand by using the raise hand icon on your desktop or mobile device. If you're calling into the meeting by phone, press *9 to raise your hand. If you are online using the Zoom app or on the phone, after your name is called, you will get permission to unmute. In order to begin speaking, you will have to unmute yourself. To do so, press the unmute button, which is the microphone icon. If you're online or on the app, or *6 if you are calling in by phone. You will have a limit of 3 minutes. Again, you will have a limit of 3 minutes. To make your public comment, there will be no timer. There will be a timer indicating your remaining time. If you're online and make a comment, we kindly request you fill out the comment card link that's located in the chat. You will only be called upon once. Once the chair closes public comment, there will be no other comments from the public, and the attendees will remain muted for the duration of the meeting. On-site comments will go first, followed by online and by the phone. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. We're going to call on the people who are present in person first. And I have who signed up. Is it Badar Kehat? Come on down and please correct me on the pronunciation of your name. Oh. Good afternoon.
I got my business in 13640 West Chicago, and I got normal 2 address, the lot 1 address and the building 1 address. And it's coming for me so many bills and for 2 different accounts. I talked last month with the lady down and should be sent for me somebody. And somebody called me, should be come to the shop because I pay sewer, and for the lot you have sewer, should be just 1 account. She sent for me 2 accounts for the bills. And for the building, she sent for me 2 accounts. Normal for 10 years, I pay just 1 account all time. And I talked with her, should be sent somebody. Somebody called me, should be coming from 3 weeks ago, and still wait, nobody come. And I have so many bills, I want to finish it before end this year. And that's why I come in for down, she sent me up here, I don't know why.
It sounds like he's waiting for someone to come out and they didn't show up. He has 2 accounts when he's only been paying 1. They should be combined or eliminated.
I got now 4 accounts, but each lot, he got 2 accounts now sent for me bills.
Oh, can we have somebody from customer service get with him right now and at least let's get the information to try to figure this out, and we will get back with you for the holiday to tell you how we resolve the issue. But the lady that's right behind you is gonna take you downstairs and work through the issue. No.
Next, Daniel Hayner.
Mr. Hayner. Hello, I'm Dan from the Detroit Sewer Company. I'd like to bring attention to the lead crisis. Here, have we stopped to think about the lead service lines from abandoned taps and demolished houses? What's the strategy for addressing this? It seems this detail hasn't been considered. I would like to bring to attention Sam Smalley. I'm flabbergasted by your oversight of the sewer cleaning department, which I find astonishing. This is likely due to your non-attendance. I respectfully ask that you consider relinquishing your role in the sewer cleaning department to focus on the water department. I am struggling to understand the logic behind the directive to only remove roots from manhole to manhole spanning 350 to 500 feet within a larger 1,500 to 5,000 feet section of lines. Should we not instead clean the entire length from the initial manhole to the final one to guarantee optimal flow and stormwater management during intense storms? I'm ready to express concern regarding the sewer cleaning department's methods. Do they ensure a comprehensive cleaning of the lines, or is this process merely a basic cleaning procedure, considering the substantial 600 miles cleaned annually? I'm disheartened by the sight of the city lines half filled with roots and sediments, only to have your crew perform a limited cleaning a few days a week, a few days or weeks ago. This seems like a significant waste of resources. Although you had the option, you declined to stop and listen to my suggestions and proposals for improvement, even though you knew it was the most significant failure, and instead, due to your pride, opted to hire unqualified individuals off the street to perform those tasks. When you think I'm just a deaf person, but you're awakened to the reality, I collaborate with a team of engineers and machinists on designing sewer nozzles and saw motors. This experience has provided me with a deep understanding of sewer cleaning. However, it's surprising that you believe the ENZ Bulldog nozzle is an amazing nozzle. In reality, it's an expensive paperweight when it doesn't work. They often get seized and locked up due to inexperienced workers not attempting and applying oil for lubrication. As an engineer, why aren't you working on designing sewer nozzles to see what performs best, is cheap to operate? Is it great at cutting roots, concrete, and grease? Regarding all board members, I'm struggling to comprehend the necessity of acquiring additional new trucks and machines when we are facing a shortage of skilled workers. I have observed numerous fleets parked behind Huber that have been idle for months. Could someone please explain to me why we are allocating funds towards new equipment instead of addressing our primary concern, which is the lack of qualified personnel? Furthermore, it is essential to now acknowledge that we are operating in Detroit, an area plagued by significant poverty. Why are we prioritizing the purchase of new trucks and machines? My personal vehicle has accumulated 400,000 miles from extensive travel, while my work van has 300,000 miles from navigating the challenges of city driving. I do maintain and fix them.
No, time is up. Your time is up. But
Okay, keep it down.
thank you. To call Jermaine Payne.
Good afternoon, commissioners and board members. I want to take this time to thank a few people on the board that have worked with me all year, and I appreciate you taking the time to work with me. Matt Phillips have done an awesome job working with me and resolving a lot of my issues with the community and the city of Detroit. We text on a monthly basis regarding citizens' concerns with backups, water line issues, and any other issues dealing with customer services. I appreciate you, Matt, a lot. You do an awesome job getting back to me on that. Jan Garcia, I want to thank you again for the astonishing job you have done as a board member to look into issues with dealing with Latino, Hispanic individuals in the city. And I appreciate your representation of us, as well as being an African-American I am. I just want to take the time to appreciate you and just let you know that I thank you for being on this board. Now, however, I want to address the issues with the water service lines. I do understand that it will take several years for us to get those water lines out of the city of Detroit, but we have to hire more contractors that's dealing with minorities. I ride around the city of Detroit on a daily basis and see contractors being Asian and not many African-American contractors in this city. I got a problem with that. And I've sat back in this board meeting and seen awarding contracts to these big companies in the city of Detroit, like Major and LGC, or whatever the other contracting company is, I'm familiar with those companies. I actually know the owners of those companies, and they're not Black. So I got a problem with us, Gary Brown awarding these millions of dollar contracts, sucking the money out the city and not putting it back into our community with our local contractors in this city. And I do know and understand that they have to be a certain certifications and all of that. I understand the policies. I've read DWSD's policies on contracting and all that. So I just wanted the board to look into that, because I'm looking at contracts today that are in the millions. They're not, these contractors should not be getting all this money like this out of this city. Another issue I have is with the sewer systems. I have paid several dollars of my own pocket to have my own sewers in my neighborhood looked at, scoped, and everything. And I'm getting tired of having to spend my money to fix problems in the sewer, identify the problems in the sewer. We need to do a better job cleaning the sewers and identifying the sewers when these houses are bagging up like they are. Gary Brown, I asked you this last year. Can you look into this and get more oversight on this with inspectors and everything? I've been on job sites where there's not even an inspector around. And I brought that up to the board because I'm concerned about fraud in the department. And I'm serious about that because it's my tax dollars. I pay a lot of taxes in this city. So I want you to look at that too as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. Is there anyone else on site that would like to address the board? All right, do we have anyone virtual who would like to address the board?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have Cecily McClellan.
All right, Ms. McClellan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You have the floor.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak, and I'd like to wish everybody on the board and everybody there a happy holiday. I noticed that in our the numbers of the Detroit Lifeline, they have drastically reduced. They're down to like 13,000 from the height of almost 27,000. So, I mean, either through attrition or lack of compliance or numerous other reasons, those numbers have dropped. On the other hand, in terms of pending recertification, both on DWSD data dashboard and Wayne Metro, there are over 10,000 recertifications pending, as well as close to 6,000 new applications pending. I want to know whether or not these pending applications are protected from shut off, and what are the potential of those being able to be serviced in the program when it's our understanding that there's a drastic reduction in the program as a result of resources. And what mechanisms are these residents being informed that they may not be able to get into the program depending on the dollars or availability of dollars? I have another concern that may or may not be addressed by the water department, but as you are aware, there are over millions, hundreds of millions being dollars in infrastructure that have not been spent by the city of Detroit. It's my concern whether or not these dollars could be reprogrammed and potentially be used in the Lifeline program. And if not in the Lifeline directly for assistance, could it not be used for the plumbing in terms of infrastructure? One of the major reasons, as you all know, of high water bills are often plumbing problems, and particularly in the infrastructure in the city of Detroit, and many of the homes being very old. So I'd like to, if there is any potential for those dollars being reprogrammed or considered for plumbing, that that DWSD pursue that avenue. Thank you very much for your time. And again, happy holidays and happy new year.
Thank you, Ms. McClellan.
Mr. Chair, there are no other hands raised.
All right, is there anyone else who would like to address the board?
Oh,
Hearing none.
Mr. Chair, when you made that call, we just had two hands go up.
Okay,
Darrell Hemphill.
Good afternoon to the
Good
Board of Water
afternoon.
Commissioners. Happy holidays, everyone. This is Attorney Norel Hemphill. I want to echo what Cecily McClellan said and about the need for more information for the Lifeline program. We know that water is a human right. It's a critical source of life. Without water, we will all surely perish. So we want to ensure that residents in Detroit have access to this life-sustaining resource. For the Lifeline Plan, as we know, we have very little funding for it and cannot support the program at the capacity it was at, which was 27,000 households, with another 15,000 in the queue for applications and recertification. So we know that those numbers are much, much lower now. What's going to happen to those households? Are they going to be protected from shutoffs? Will there be some type of program bridging them out of Lifeline back into their regular water bill? Also, I want to thank you for changing the time for public comment from 2 minutes back to 3 minutes. As we mentioned before, this is it's a critical way for residents to get their information to the Board of Water Commissioners and also DWSD when we do have issues and concerns. And it is helpful when we are not limited by cutting it down by a third. So I do want to thank you again for hearing us and reacting and responding to that. Finally, no, I'll just stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hemphill.
Mr. Chair, can I just say that today, currently, there are 2 bills being debated in Lansing in both the House and the Senate. The 2 bills that I'm speaking of are water affordability bills, the bills that would provide long-term funding for Lifeline are going to be decided probably today in Lansing. And I just strongly encourage anyone that's concerned about Lifeline or low-income customers' ability to pay bills to contact their state representatives, contact their senators. I can tell you at 6:30 this morning when I called Lansing, the bills were not on the agenda to be voted on. If they're not voted on today, if they were voted on today, it would take 5 days to lay on the table before the Senate could vote on them. That would be the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. So really today is the final day. Again, when I last checked, they weren't even on the agenda to be voted on. I spoke to Chairman Tate and several other state representatives, strongly encouraged them to at least get them on the agenda so that they would have a chance to be voted on. I concerned legislators in Lansing about these bills, but I'm just pleading with the advocates who, for the last year and a half, have worked with us to craft these bills, for long-term funding for affordability. Go through today, and we all know what the situation is in January in Lansing. There's going to be a changing of the guard, so to speak, in Lansing. It's going to be more difficult to get this done next year than it is this year. So I know calling in and encouraging us to do something with Lifeline, well, if we don't have the dollars available, be aligned to the dollars that are available. So again, today's the day. Call your senators, call your state representatives, and please urge them to get this legislation on the agenda today and vote it up or down. And hopefully, I'm assured that the votes are there to pass it, but it can't be passed if it's not on the agenda. So I'll leave it there. And
if anyone has any contact with State Senator Sylvia Santana or State Rep Karen Winslet, the Detroit News is reporting they are boycotting. and preventing the chamber from conducting any business. So, Commissioner Kinlock.
No, this is not usually where we would make that comment, but the fact that you raised that point, this is probably the most significant time an opportunity to pass this legislation. And as Director Brown said, it will not come up. It will not come up in the foreseeable future where we have this type of opportunity. It is a total recklessness and a disregard to the public safety and health and continuing to maintain this program, funding for this program is reckless. And anyone, and we have a lot of water activists on here, we have people in this room who hold our feet to the fire. You need to call those two right now, because you can't come back to this table if that law does not get passed. You can't blame us. We did everything we could do to work with our legislature in getting this bill where it is today. So after today, understand it'll probably be another generation before we ever have this opportunity in Michigan.
All right, and who else do we have that would like to address the board?
Mr. Chair, we have Miko Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams.
Hello. Yes, hi,
How come-
D'Amico Williams.
Miko, how come we never see you down here anymore?
Unfortunately, today I have to work.
Oh,
and
okay.
I have a job, a day job, which I have to attend to my own affairs. So
Well,
I'm sorry I
terrific.
can't make it down there. I would love to give you all greetings and hugs and everything for working with Hydrate Detroit. I just want to thank the board and especially the director, Gary Brown, Matthew Phillips, and and the best team of our dedicated water, sewer workers, customer service workers, those that are dealing with the contracts, trying to keep our system afloat in this time where we could be going in the next 4 years. I just want to say thank you all for the work that you all do, and happy holidays and happy new year. I after hearing the response of the legislature, I've done my job. I did what I was supposed to do. My representative is Stephanie Chang. We only talk a few times. She did tell us about the water affordability bills at my Share Water donation drive earlier this summer. And, they are overwhelmed. And with the current reindeer games going on, nothing is getting done. We can try the best we know how, and I'm still continue to do what I do. I just be honest with you guys. I called in to beg you all, as I do every year around this time of Christmas, to have a heart and to not shut off water for the next month. Families are suffering. I was at an event yesterday and I damn near cried. All the seniors sitting there with their face stuck up. They have nowhere to go. They're getting their benefits cut off. EBT recertifications not going through the way it's supposed to. The whole state is in disarray. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say, look, continue to pay your bill however you do. Every organization in this room and on this call should be working to make sure that their constituents and their clients is paying on the water bills and is in good standing. 6 to 9 months of Wayne Metro is a disgrace, but it's only to what people, if they are paying the bills and they are checked out, then they shouldn't have no problem. It shouldn't be an 85% until I get the numbers, until I conduct the numbers, and until I actually make the phone calls and start talking to people. Again, people are trying to pay their bills. They're trying to keep up, but with the current cost of health insurance, the current cost of food and necessities and such, and the instability what's going on in our city and state, it's not providing what you all want. I'll tell you what I heard at that subcommittee meeting. People just need to pay. People are paying. What are you doing over the next 2 months to help people in an incentive? We've been telling you this for over 3 years, to give people an incentive to come in the water department and pay off their bill. Lifeline and Easy Pay, they're good and all, but what is the driving force to get people to pay so we can get past 60,000? Thank you, Matthew Phillips, for everything you do. And thank you, Gary Brown and board, for allowing us to bring you our ideas, our solutions. I'll continue to do so. Myself and Beulah Walker, we are thankful to work with you as partners from Hydrate Detroit to DWSD. Thank you so very much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Miko. Is there anyone else?
Mr. Chair, there are no more hands raised.
All right, then we'll close public participation and we'll move on to the next item, and it's communications. Item 7A, we have receipt from 3 pieces of communication. Mr. Phillips, any comment on any of these? Not at all. A motion to receive and file is in order.
I move that we receive and file the communications, Mr. Chair.
Support. All those in favor?
Aye.
This is unanimously. Next item from commissioners. Commissioner Kinlock and I already had our say. Any items from any other commissioners? Hearing none. Let's move on to unfinished business. There's something regarding Sheila Cherry Lockett and a sinkhole. Is there any action required of us?
Chair, Deputy Director Smalley, that sinkhole was actually a collapsed catch basin. Our maintenance and repair crews have rebuilt that catch basin, put down temporary paving in the spring when the asphalt and concrete plants reopen. We will finish the hard restoration, which completes that item.
Thank you very much. Next, we move to the approval of the consent agenda, items 10A through E. We consider these items in a single motion. They have all been reviewed and considered at the committee level, and they come with the recommendation of the Finance Committee. Let me first ask, does any commissioner wish to remove any of these items from the consent agenda to be considered separately? Hearing none, Commissioner Blackman,
So the consent agenda as presented.
is there support? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, then all those in favor of adopting the consent agenda as presented, please say aye. Aye. Passes unanimously. Next, the director's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As the year comes to a close, we want to wish you all a joyous holiday and thank the Board of Commissioners for your unwavering.
Mr. Chair, we have some new business items.
Oh. Over.
Maybe I need new glasses. Oh, pardon me. All right, next item 11A, 2024-267, Wayne County Resolution regarding indemnity insurance. Commissioners, would someone like to make a motion?
Mr. Commissioner Kinlock, can you read the motion?
Pages, I'm sorry.
Page 37.
Page 37, and Mr. Chair, I'm here. It is 37. Okay, Mr. Chair, upon recommendation of Samuel Smalley, Deputy Director for the Board of Water Commissioners for the City of Detroit Water and Sewage Department, authorizes the Director to approve the model community resolutions authorizing execution of the Wayne County permits form to facilitate the acquisition of DWSD 2025 WCD PS annual permit, subject to the approval as to form and language by the Office of General Counsel. And it also authorizes the Director to take such other action as may be necessary to accomplish the intent of this vote.
For support. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. And that passes unanimously. Next, item 11B, 2024-272. Is there a motion?
Page 44, if somebody wants to read.
Proposed motion appears in our agenda on page 44. Commissioner Blackman.
Recommendation of Samuel A. Smalley, PE, Deputy Director for the
Board of Water Commissioners authorizes the director to approve the performance resolution for governmental agencies form to facilitate the acquisition of DWSD's 2025 MDOT annual permit, and also authorizes the director to take such other action as may be necessary to accomplish the intent of this vote.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And that is adopted unanimously. Now we can move to the director's report. Thank you.
Thank you. As the year comes to a close, we want to wish you all a joyous holiday and thank the Board of Commissioners for your unwavering dedication and thorough ethical deliberations as we look forward to an impactful 2025. This year was full of achievements. Many we accomplished with your leadership and support. So please have a wonderful holiday and a happy new year. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I know I speak for every member of the board in saying back at you and the dedicated leadership. The nice thing about participating in an award ceremony like we did today, we push paper. Those are the folks who keep the water running. And I also have to add the toilets flushing. So that's exactly right. So thank you very much, Gary. Does that completes your report? All right, comments by commissioners.
He said that we wish everyone a very happy holiday season, healthy, happy, prosperous, please, for all of us.
Any other commissioners? Commissioner Garcia? You're staring at me, but you're not raising your hand.
The staff who've done a fantastic job. And the public relation out there is fantastic. You know, we get calls all the time on how wonderful everybody is here. Matthew, you're a star out there. I even tell him he's on TV. But I just wanted to make sure that you all know that we all appreciate your hard work. I know you get paid, but I also know you all go overboard to make sure that this department is well seen throughout the whole city. So muchas gracias a todos.
Commissioners, Commissioner Forte has joined us. Commissioner Kinloch.
To also thank the staff for an outstanding job. Yeah, I serve as on this board with some great members and folks who I've known most of my life. And it is incredible to serve with this department and with individuals who respond with surgical response when people call in for requests and concerns and issues and stuff. So this department, the water department is a public utility. But guess what? I call it a department of hearts because you all put your heart forward when you listen and address the public needs. So I want to thank you all and wish you all a happy holidays.
Forte.
I want to echo the comments, but I'd also add, I'm really particularly proud of how the department interacts with the customers that we have to serve on a daily basis. I'm proud of that, the communications, the feedback that is taken very to heart and movements made around that. So many accomplishments this year. Congratulations to each and every one of you. And thanks to this wonderful board that I have the honor of serving with.
Any other comments by commissioners? My only comment is I'm in the middle of reading a book that's called, it's directed to people with gray hair, older people. And the name of the book is God is Not Done With You Yet. And it looks like the legislation, it'll be a major miracle if it passes, if they're not even meeting. Well, we are not done with that issue yet. And I know everyone is going to redouble their efforts to find supplemental and hopefully permanent sources of funding for the Lifeline Plan. And I don't know the efficacy of turning to the private sector to try and fund some of this, but I know I speak for the director and everybody at this table. We will leave no stone unturned in terms of keeping that Lifeline program going. Okay. Any comments? Any other business to come before the board?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
I do just have one comment, a reminder that the January committee meeting is being scheduled for the 7th at 11 a.m. And I think most of you have responded. If you haven't, please do.
The 11th, we have, that's our organizational meeting for the county commission.
So did you respond to the?
Remember saying that, so I'm letting you know now I can't make it.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, just to leave on a good note, I mean, next year, we have $11 million available in the budget for the Lifeline program. Now, that's more money than any assistance program in the United States in any utility for an income-based affordability program. So while it might be right-sized, while we look for additional money to help others, we're still going to have an extremely robust program. And it's my goal to make sure that the people that end up staying in the Lifeline program, because everybody else will move into Easy Pay, and we're going to make sure that they are afforded the opportunity of not seeing a service interruption if they're in Easy Pay. But I don't want this to go away with, Lansing didn't provide the money, the federal government didn't provide the money, and we don't have a program. We're still going to have a very robust program that services more than 10,000 households, more than 30,000 of our customers, while we look for additional money to add more people to those roles. So I don't want to walk away and go home for Christmas thinking that Lifeline died and went away. It has not. It's being realigned, adjusted to fit the dollars that are available at this time while we continue to look for is that you just pointed out, foundations and other government entities to provide that service. So I just.
Is there any other business? Commissioner Blackman?
I just have to commend the director for the leadership he has provided in trying to make sure that all of our customers are able to receive clean, safe water at a reasonable, as reasonable a cost as possible.
Big team, big team.
Any other matters to come before the board? Hearing none, then a motion to adjourn is in order. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning our final meeting of the year, say aye. And that is adopted. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and a safe and prosperous 2025.